Well, hey guys, it's Catherine. Today we're going to look at two products that are coming out next week in the Stamp of Approval Counting Blessings collection. So we have the Marching Leaves stencil and we have the Autumn Blessings stamp set. So we are going to start with the stencil. I have a piece of cardstock cut and scored. This is for my card base. And I'm going to stencil down the side. I'm going to use my painter's tape to just mask off where the fold is. I'm going to add my stencil on top and add some painter's tape to secure it in place. I'm going to grab some glass bead glitter gel. So if you haven't used this before, it's a really fun substance. It kind of reminds me a little bit of glue and then it has these glass beads in it. So when you hear it go on, you can hear it's very gritty, and that is a little glass beads in there. When it is wet, it looks really weird. It actually doesn't really look good at all. But when it dries, that's when the magic happens. It looks very sparkly and shiny and just super awesome. I'm going to pull this stencil off and then I'm going to go wash these, and then I'm going to come back, we'll let this dry, and we'll move on to the rest of the card. For the next part, I have a piece of watercolor cardstock and I'm sponging on grass skirt ink. Upside down. I'm doing it on the top, going into the center, and then bottom going into the center. I'm going to lighten up my ink application as I move closer to the center, having it darker on the edges. So I have a really cool technique piece here. I'm going to add some water droplets. So I'm just, for my spritzer, getting a bunch of water in my hand, and then I'm going to flick it onto my sponged piece. I can let that sit for a minute, let those droplets react with the water. I can just let it dry from there, or I can grab a paper towel and just dab those up, and you can see it turns white where the droplets were. I'm going to add a grading to my technique piece, and I'm going to use the Autumn Blessing stamp set. One thing I love about this, you can use blessed, or blessings. I'm going to do thankful, grateful, and blessed all on one card. So I'm going to line them up, grateful in the center, and then thankful and blessed. Now I want blessed to look like it was scripted all at the same time, so I need to make sure I leave room for that, but I'm going to have to stamp it separately, otherwise it won't connect to the bless. I'm going to use the Icing on the Cake ink. This is a dye ink. It is non-permanent. And we're going to stamp. I'll probably do it a couple times. You see it's very splotchy right now, and part of the reason for that is because this is watercolor paper, so it doesn't absorb the ink like regular cardstock does. So that is where the MISTI is going to come in nice and handy. So when you're lining the ED up, I'm just making sure the S, the piece of the S, is just ever so slightly inside that E to make sure it gets connected. Then I'm lining up my little arrow, and we will stamp those. Next, I'm going to turn the arrow so that it is opposite where it was there. So it's kind of framing the grateful. And we'll stamp that a couple times. Now we have a really gorgeous technique piece with a great blessing to send to friends and family in this upcoming holiday season. And in this set we have other little accoutrements, little wheat and leaves, and tiny little leaf there, and this fun leaf, an acorn. We also have this really fun pumpkin. So I'm going to stamp that a couple times with the orange twist, and I'm using our small square block that is brand new. We are just premiering this product, and every Counting Blessings Stamp of Approval collection will get one of these for free in their box. I am going to fussy cut these little pumpkins out, and we're going to add them to the card. So moving on to the next part of the card, we are going to be adding the pumpkins here. So before I glue them on, I want to do the little stem, which will go right about there, and a little curlicue about right there, and little leaf. And I'll do it for both pumpkins before I actually adhere the pumpkins onto the card. And that will help me with spacing and make sure I get those stamped just where I want them. So my glass bead glitter gel is dry. I don't know if this gives it justice. It's sparkly and a really nice tone-on-tone effect with some added glam. And then I'm just adding some mounting tape to the back, and I'm gonna adhere this right over that stenciled background. And that's all there is to this card. I hope you guys enjoyed. All of these products will be coming out in our Stamp of Approval Counting Blessings release, and be sure to hop over to my blog. All of the details will be there. And that's it for today. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll see you soon.